Hello everyone, welcome to Boost Your Basic series. Our today's topic is solid dosage form powders. Okay, so let's start. Okay, so nowadays most of the solid dosage forms, okay, which are predominantly available are in the form of tablets, capsules, okay, but we are still using the powder as a dosage form, okay. For example, we are using various kinds of dusting powders, then we are using various kinds of antacids, which can be either in the form of granules or it can be in the form of powders, okay. So today we will learn this powder as a solid dosage form in detail, okay. So let's start. A pharmaceutical powder is a mixture of finely divided drug in the dry form. Okay. So these powders can be used internally or they can be used externally. Then the drugs which are present, okay, they can be in the crystalline form or they can be in the amorphous form. Okay. So now we'll see the advantages of powders. Okay, अभी हम advantages देखेंगे. So they are one of the most oldest dosage forms and are used both internally as well as externally. Then powders are more stable. Okay, since they are the solid dosage forms, we know that solid dosage forms are more stable than liquid dosage forms. Then the chances of incompatibility are also less as compared to liquid dosage form. Then the onset of action of powder drug, okay, is rapid, okay, as compared to the other solid dosage forms like tablets, capsules or pills, okay, which these tablets, capsules have to undergo the disintegration step, right? But here in case of powders, we are having the finely divided or we are having the smaller size particles, okay, so that they are having the larger surface area so that they can be easily dissolved and they can be absorbed, okay. But there are some exceptional cases where the reduction in particle size doesn't lead to the increase in their bioavailability, okay, but they are the exception cases. But here we are talking about the drugs, okay, which are having the greater bioavailability when they are in the powdered form, okay. Then the large quantity of powdered drugs can be easily administered to the patient orally by dissolving or mixing the powder in a suitable liquid, okay. Then the small children and elderly patients, okay, this kind or this particular class of patients are having some difficulties, okay, in swallowing the tablets or capsules, okay. That time this powder has a greater advantage, okay. They can take the powder drug as such or dispersed in water or any other liquid. Then the powders are more economical as compared to other solid dosage form because these are prepared extemporaneously, okay. They're having lesser steps to prepare without involving any special machinery as well as techniques, okay. Then disadvantages of powders, okay, like drugs having bitter, nauseous and unpleasant taste cannot dispense in a powder form, right? Then the deliquescent and hygroscopic drugs, okay, they cannot be dispensed in the powder form. Then drugs which get affected by atmospheric conditions are not suitable for dispensing in the powder form. Then the quantities less than 100 mg, okay, cannot be weighed conveniently on dispensing balance, okay. So these are the certain disadvantages of powders. Then अभी हम देखेंगे the classification of powders, okay. So we are having the bulk powders for internal use, bulk powders for external use, simple and compound powder for internal use, powder enclosed in sachets and capsules, and compressed powders that are the tablets, okay. So first one, we are having bulk powder for internal use. Powders are dispensed in bulk, okay, when accuracy of dosage is not important, okay. These are the drugs, okay, which are non-potent in nature, okay, because if the drug is potent in nature, the accuracy of dosage is very important, right? So here the bulk powders, we are using the drugs which are non-potent, okay. It contains several doses of powders. They are supplied in the wide mouth containers, okay, that permits the easy removal of the powders. Then they are non-potent. Examples are antacids, laxatives, okay. Then the bulk powders for external use, okay. They are non-potent substances, okay. These are also the non-potent substances. These are often supplied in glass or plastic containers, which are often designed for the specific method of application. Then the dusting powders are preferably supplied in perforated top containers, okay. Then it should bear a label, okay, stating that the powder is meant for external application. Okay. Then there are various kinds of bulk powders for external use. Okay, these are the dusting powders, insufflations, snuffs, and dentifrices. Okay, so first we will look into the dusting powders. They are applied to skin and are generally applied in a very fine state of subdivision in order to avoid the local irritation. Okay, then they should be passed, okay, to obtain this particular very fine state. They should be passed through sieve number 80 to enhance their effectiveness. Okay, then there are two types, medical and surgical. Now we will see the difference between medical and surgical. Okay, so medical dusting powders, they are mainly used for the superficial skin conditions. Okay, and the surgical dusting powders, they are mainly used in the body cavity and also on major wounds as a result of burns and umbilical cords of infants. Then the medical dusting powders should be free from pathogenic microbes. Okay, and the surgical dusting powders, okay, since they are used in the body cavities, they must be sterilized before use. Okay, then the common ingredients which are used in case of dusting powders are talc, kaolin, okay, because they are chemically inert. Okay, but they also are the source of contamination, right? They can have microorganisms present in them. Okay, so because of that, we should sterilize them by dry heat method, okay, before use. Then this particular dusting powders are used as an antiseptic, astringent, absorbent, okay, then antiperspirant and antipruritic action. They are dispensed in siphon top containers as well as aerosol containers. Then one precaution we have to take in case of infants, okay, since they are non-toxic, but inhalation of its fine powdered ingredients by infants may lead to pulmonary inflammation. Okay, and hence care should be taken over here. Then insufflations. So these are the medicated dusting powders meant for introduction into the body cavities such as nose, throat, ears, vagina, okay, with the help of apparatus known as insufflator. It sprays the powder into a stream of finely divided particles over the site of application. Nowadays, they are also available in the form of pressure aerosols for potent drugs. Okay, so this is one of the advantage because this method has excellent control of the dose through metered valve. Okay, in case of potent drugs, and also protect the product from the external environment. Okay, they are used to produce local effect as in the treatment of ear, nose, throat infection with antibiotics, okay, or to produce a systemic effect from a drug that is destroyed in the gut, okay. Then snuffs. Snuffs are finely divided dosage forms of medicaments which are inhaled into nostrils for its antiseptic, bronchodilator, and decongestion action, okay. Then dentifrices, these are the tooth powders. So these are applied with the help of toothbrush for cleaning the surface of teeth, and they contain various ingredients such as detergents, soaps, then some abrasive substances like calcium sulfate, then magnesium carbonate, okay, sodium carbonate, sodium chloride, and they also have a suitable flavoring agent, okay. Then simple and compound powders for internal use. Simple powders, okay, आप नाम से देख सकते हैं कि सिंपल यानी दे विल कंटेन ओनली वन इंग्रेडिएंट आइदर इन क्रिस्टलाइन और इन एमorphous form. Okay, if it is a crystalline, then they are reduced to fine powder, weighed and divided into number of individual doses. Then compound powders. Okay, compound powders, that means they will contain two or more than two substances which are mixed together and then divided into desired number of individual doses. Then powder enclosed in cachettes. So the cachettes are the solid unit dosage form of the drugs. Okay. Now we will see the preparation of these cachettes. The cachettes are molded from the rice paper, which is made by pouring a mixture of rice flour and water. Okay, mixture of rice flour and water between two hot, polished and revolving cylinders. The water evaporates and we are getting the sheet of wafer. Okay, that is the wafer of this particular rice flour and water. Okay, the cachettes are used to enclose nauseous or disagreeable powders and are available in different sizes. And these cachetes are also known as wafer capsule. Okay, they are quite hard to swallow as such. Okay, but they are softened by dipping in water for a few seconds and then placed on the tongue and swallowed with water. After swallowing, the cachetes are disintegrated and then the drug is released. Okay, and hence we should mention on the label. Okay, this particular direction we have to mention, stating that immerse in water for a few seconds and then swallow with a draught of water. Okay. Then there are two types of cachetes, wet seal cachetes and dry seal cachetes. Okay. So you can see in this particular diagram, these are the upper diagram is of wet seal cachetes. Okay, these are the two convex shape. Okay, and this particular one are the dry seal cachetes. Okay, this one is without dome and this is with dome. Then we are having tablet triturates. So these are the powders molded into tablets. Molded tablets are flat circular discs and are usually contain potent substances, okay, which are mixed with diluents such as lactose, dextrose, or any other diluents. And nowadays we are having the automatic tablet triturating machines. Okay. Then methods of mixing of powders. So we are having spatulation with the help of spatula. Then we have trituration. Then we have geometric dilution, sifting, and tumbling. Okay, these are the various methods of mixing of powders. Then powders containing different types of substances. Okay, hygroscopic and deliquescent powders. So what are the hygroscopic powders? The powders which absorb the moisture from the atmosphere are called as hygroscopic powders. Example, silicon dioxide, magnesium carbonate, etc. Okay. Then deliquescent powders. Okay, these are the powders which absorb the moisture just like hygroscopic powders, but they are absorbing the moisture to such a great extent that they go into the solution. Okay, and are called as deliquescent powders. Example over here are ammonium chloride, sodium iodide. Okay, and how to dispense these powders? These hygroscopic or deliquescent powders are usually dispensed in granular form. Okay, so that they are having the larger particle size, so that they will have lesser surface area, right? So lesser amount of drug is exposed to the atmosphere. Okay, so as they are dispensed in granular form. Then efflorescent powders. Some crystalline substances liberate water of crystallization wholly or partly on exposure to humid atmosphere or during trituration, and thus become wet or liquefy. Examples are caffeine, citric acid, etc. Okay, so these are usually dispensed, okay, as a corresponding anhydrous salts, or they can be mixed with certain inert substances. Okay. Then we have eutectic mixtures. So when two or more substances are mixed together, they liquefy due to the formation of new compound which has having lower melting point, okay, than the room temperature. So such substances are called as eutectic substances. Examples are menthol, thymol, camphor, phenacetine, okay. And these particular eutectic mixtures, these substances are usually mixed with the adsorbents, okay, while dispensing. Then we have explosive substances. So when an oxidizing substances such as potassium chlorate is mixed with the reducing substances such as tannic acid, there are chances of violent explosion, okay, which may lead to serious consequences. Okay. Then other substances which are used are potent drugs. So the substances having maximum dose of less than 1 grain, that is around 60 mg, and poisonous substances are regarded as potent drugs, and they are usually dispensed, okay, by mixing them along with the diluents. Okay, by geometric dilution method, we are dispensing this particular potent drugs. Then granular powders. The solid medicaments are mixed with sweetening, flavoring, and coloring agents. A suitable granulating liquid is added to moisten the powder, okay, so as to make a coherent mass, and this particular coherent mass is then passed through sieve number 10 to make granules. Okay, then dry granules are dried in hot air oven. Okay, dry the granules in hot air oven, not exceeding 60 degrees Celsius, and then again these dry granules are passed through sieve number 20. The directions on label, okay, what are the directions? Add specified amount of freshly boiled and cooled water to dissolve it, or shake well to form the homogeneous solution. Okay, and also it should be mentioned that it should be taken within the time limit, okay, within which the reconstituted preparation should be consumed. Then we are having effervescent granules. They are used internally. Okay, they contain medicament mixed with citric acid, tartaric acid, sodium bicarbonate. Okay, they can also contain sweetening agents like sucrose and saccharin. Then before administration, the desired quantity is dissolved in water. The acid and bicarbonate react together, producing effervescence. Okay, the carbonated produced from this release of carbon dioxide is usually used to mask the bitter and saline taste of the drugs. Okay, so these are the different substances which are used in powders. So before moving further, if you want more such videos, you can subscribe to our channel Dharmesh Mehta GPET. You can press the bell icon and you will be notified every time a video is posted. We also have free WhatsApp group where we post daily 5 MCQs, and we also have classes. So if you want to get enroll for the classes, or if you want to join the group, you can just contact on these numbers. You can mention your name, your college name, and we will do the needful. Okay. Now moving on to the MCQ part. Insufflations are fine powders of drugs which are dosed into nose, ear, throat, all of the above. Okay, so we have seen the definition, or we have seen what are the insufflations. So they are used in all of the above, right? Nose, ear, and throat. So answer is all of the above. Bulk powder in which the individual doses has been packed separately is known as bulk powder, divided powder, dusting powder, and insufflations. Okay, so the bulk powder which are divided in individual doses, that means they are the divided powders. Okay, then which of the following method of mixing of powders is used when potent substances are mixed with a large amount of diluent? Okay, trituration, sifting, speculation, and geometric dilution. Okay, we have seen that geometric dilution is mostly used for the potent substances, okay, to mix them with the large amount of diluent. So the answer is geometric dilution. Okay, that's it for today. Thank you.